You ever seen a situation where you get down 28-0 and then dominate the next three quarters? And it seemed like two different games.
Yeah, it did. We got behind pretty quick, and we had some errors on offense that created some short fields and easy opportunities for our opponent, and they took advantage of it, and we were down pretty quickly, and that changes, how things go. Now the defense did a hell of a job for the next three quarters of just locking it down, gave us some opportunities. We got down the field, moved the football, and then just couldn't find a way to put it in. Once we got to, it felt like every time we got to the 20-yard line, just the same thing happened, whether it was a miscue here or there, I don't know, just a great blitz timing call on their end, something. And we're behind the sticks. And when you get behind the sticks and that's in that part of the field, it's hard to recover. And we didn't do it. We just didn't do it. And we had ample opportunity to try and get that done. And just a bad deal.
How do you think you held up against their blitzes? They did they did some things I hadn't seen all year.
Yeah, they did some things.
Zone blitzes and stuff.
We knew coming in that we were going to get a bunch of things that you hadn't seen. That's every team. So when they play someone, there's this new exotic blitz that the next. So for example, I don't know who they play next. Maybe Texas Tech, I think. But they're going to get some things that nobody's seen before. So it wasn't unexpected to have something that we hadn't seen show up. For the most part, I thought we held in there pretty well. They did a good job of clicking some of their interior defensive linemen out, taking away some of the hot throws. That was one thing that I noticed for sure. Outside of that, though, we just missed a couple opportunities. We need to catch better. We need to pitch, catch, block, all those little things better. It's hard to say that we were awful when you have almost 500 yards of offense, but we were off in the red zone.
Kasey, I know that situations are what they are in terms of guys that you don't have on the O-line. You didn't have Dom tonight, but here again another post game where we're asking, could you have used some more help in the run game? That kind of thing.
That's been a common theme all year long. How we're going to run the football. Why didn't you run the ball very well? I don't have a great answer for that. We took our time with the run game this week. We wanted just a few runs that we could hang our hat on. We didn't get it done, and when the quarterback can't take a smoke break, so to speak, and just hand the ball off and go get 5 yards, and maybe that thing pops and goes 60 or 70. We were watching the same thing with TCU in one of their clips this morning, and I hand off 13 read, no different. And Joker goes 75 yards for a touchdown. Those are the kind of pops that you want to see every once in a while. That just takes a little pressure off of the quarterback having to have a perfect game. And we're not doing that for Spencer right now. He's making a ton of plays for us. He's going to make some good and some bad. Sometimes he's not going to be able to make every single throw or every single opportunity work for us. But the guy's gotten us to where we are, and we've had, like I said, ample opportunity to put that game within, reasonable reach and potentially win it. But yeah, we've got to get that run game going. Coach and I were just talking about that. It's not clicking.
Is the shoulder making his passes kind of save a little bit of time? Like the last interception?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I thought, he tossed it around pretty good in practice this week. There have been times where he didn't practice at all, and came out and did a good job for us. So I don't want to put it on his shoulder. Sometimes just pitches happen and catches happen, and today wasn't that day. But, I haven't seen his numbers as far as, what his percentage was. I don't know what his completion percentage was. Probably someone could tell me, I'm sure. But I know he threw for over 300 yards. I know that, and that's a pretty good day.
To have him kind of have a stat line like that, to have the offensive numbers like that, how different of how crazy is it to think how different of a game this could have been without the 4 interceptions or even 1 or 2 of them?
Yeah, drastically different. But there are a lot of things. We're going to have some picks here and there, and to have those picks and still be in the game, fantastic. Again, great job by the defense. But number one, we've got to run the football, and we have to be able to take pressure off of Spencer. I don't want to throw the ball. I don't know how many times you throw it.
60-something.
Oh my God. Okay, so I don't want to throw it that many times.
Might have been 70.
Really
69.
I really don't want to throw it that many times. I don't want to put him in that position to have to throw the ball that many times. So the number one priority, as it's been for a while now, is to try and create more offense out of the run game.
How hard is it to do that though? Whenever you're just having to play musical chairs, and is it just tough to build cohesion when you're having to move those guys around so much?
It is. You know, we've had different guys playing tailback and different guys playing offensive line, and we played a third string center one game, and then he got hurt. So it's bounced around quite a bit, and I can't remember when it's been like that before. We 2017. I think we lost one guy for a little bit. I think in 2011, 2 really good years at Oklahoma State, everybody's familiar with. We lost one guy. I think we lost Hubert Annium halfway through the season. For the most part, the rest of the offense stayed intact. That's not happening right now, so the cohesion between the offensive line, the backs, the quarterback, timing with receivers, all those things takes a hit. But quite frankly, we had enough out there today to move the football and to win the game. I thought we were healthier on the offensive line. We're as healthy at quarterback as we've been in a long time, probably since TCU. At that game, as you all know, he barely practiced at all, going into that thing. So he's been banged up. Today was probably as healthy as he's been. And, just it didn't happen.
You guys could have got, after the first quarter, it looked like you could lose 55-6. And that's what it's the kind of game it seemed like. How'd you get your guys to stay in it and threaten them as much as you did? And how'd you yourself? How's the coach?
I thought you meant threaten the players.
No. Threaten them. You made them. You made the Sooners sweat the last.
Oh
last
man! If we just punch it in that last one instead of a field goal, it just makes it a one-score game. And anyway, just not there. Our kids play hard. Our kids play really hard. And I just asked Brennan exactly that. I said, what's the mindset right now of players? Was anybody giving up on the sideline? And he said, heck no, guys were flying around playing hard all the way through, and I believe him. He's a great kid. He's a great player for us, and obviously he has the vibe from the kids. And his report back to me was everybody was getting after it as hard as they possibly could. So tip my hat to the guys for playing that hard, in a situation where, like you said, it could have got out of hand, really out of hand, and we found ourselves in it. So, yeah, it's a good job for the kids.
How do you keep yourself in it as a coach? I mean, things are just the house is on fire.
Cliche stuff, just one at a time. We said every time we get the ball back, the defense gave us the ball plenty of times. Just go score. Hey, if we score here, we're gonna be in this position. If we score here, we'll be in this position. You keep feeding that line to the guys, just like at halftime. Hey, we go out and we score. Now all of a sudden we're in this ball game again and rolling. And we didn't do it first series out 3-0, I think it was. But that's how you do it. And our kids are all in. We're all in on them. They're all in on us, and we're just going to keep banging on that rock.
There were probably a lot of OSU fans wondering who's Quentin Stewart. Where did that play call come, and where's he been?
Q's a cowboy back for us, and he's a tough kid, and he's generally involved in more of our run game stuff and in our big package, our big sets, goal line stuff. So when we got down there, we knew that they were pretty good up front. People have had a hard time trying to pound it in sometimes, and you see it's evident a lot of places. West Virginia last week had a hard time trying to get a yard. A lot of people do have a hard time trying to get a yard. So the first day was first down, so we just said, hey, let's go ahead and put this one up, and we'll try and pound it in from there. But it all worked out. And Q is a good soft hands, and he made a nice catch, and a hell of a throw by Spencer. He had pressure in his face, pressure from behind. Was able to get that ball out with enough mustard on it for Q to make a play. So hell of a job, both of those kids.
How much do you feel getting the Cowboy backs a little bit more involved in the pass game could potentially help things? I know you need them back to help block with the issues on the line right now, but maybe you don't need to worry about that if you're getting the ball out quicker because the guy's leaking out there in the middle. Yeah,
I'd like to do that. We right now the number one thing is to run it. We've got to get that going. That'll take so much pressure off of everything. So, and I don't know what the stat line was in rushing. I think we were over 100 yards, but I would assume that Spencer had probably a third of it, if not more. So we've just got to find a way to get our run game going with the running backs, and like I said, take the pressure off of Spencer, and that'll make his overall game, go up too. So, yeah, I'd like to get the Cowboy backs in it. We kind of got banged around a little bit at times, and if you find yourself when you're behind that quickly, kind of K-State-ish, You know, now the ball's got to be up. You just can't sit there and hand it off and give yourself, because you don't know that our defense is going to just stone them for the next 3 quarters. If someone said the game they'll only score 28 points today, well, things are different. You know, now you can take more time, just kind of grind that thing out. But when you're in that position, you got to go. And you know, so we put 10 personnel on the field more, and they weren't as big a part of the game plan as normal.
Guess you win next week 8-4. You see that as hell of an accomplishment considering the challenges you guys were up against this year, or man, this could have been something different.
Well, first of all, yeah, I would hope for our kids that they see it that way, that they see it as a great accomplishment with all the adversity that's happened. But I mean, we had a chance to have a really special year. And so I'm disappointed in that aspect of it. Obviously, we want to get back to the Big 12 championship. We know that's not going to happen at all. So now it's just a matter of trying to get focused and see if we can get 9 wins. And it's just like everything else, you know, one play at a time, one series at a time, this one game at a time, get ourselves to 9, try and refocus that way. Because 9 wins, if you go 9-4, in the conference that we're in right now, with as much parity as there is, that's a pretty good year. I think we would look back in the middle of January and go, you know what, 9-4 is pretty solid. So we just got to go find a way to beat West Virginia, get ourselves to a bowl game. We've had good success in bowl games. Win that one, we'll look back and go, solid.
Thanks, Kasey.
Okay, you bet.